Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show, I have Cami Pyvand, realtor over 21 years based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Cami, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting it.
Absolutely. I always like to start off at the top of the show by asking, how did folks get into the real estate space? So how did you get in?
I was a restaurant manager in 2004 in Atlanta, and this lender comes in and asks me to sell a house that he has built. And I said, "Oh, why are you asking me? I am not a realtor." I did not even know how that worked. And he said, "Well, you seem to know a lot of people. You seem to be good with people." So story short, I sold the house the next day. And I called a regular diner and I said, "I need you to help me with writing a contract." And she was confused. I gave her lunch. She wrote me a contract. And I sold 3 more for sale by owners those days in 4 months, one a month, until I realized I need to have a license. Somebody told me that I sold a for sale by owner, and the ladies next door of this seller was upset that the seller had not listed with a neighbor, and she sees me at the house and she says, "Which company are you with?" I said, "I'm a restaurant manager." She said, "What do you mean you're not a realtor?" I said, "No." She said, "You have to have a license." I said, "I had no idea." So I got a license within a month, if I'm not mistaken. I was at it. So that's how I became a realtor.
So going from restaurant manager to realtor, I'm imagining when you first started out, after you did those first 4 FSBOs, that you were still a restaurant manager and that it was part-time.
Correct. But as soon as I got my license, I gave my 2-week notice to the restaurant and I was gone. I don't like to do things part-time.
Okay, wow. So let's talk us through that. So it's a big change, and it's something relatively new to you. Been doing it under a year. What was the emotions like, and what was the process for going full time?
So I give it everything. I give it all when I do something. I do not like half,
Measures.
measures. Measures is better than ASS. I don't like half measures, right? I do not want it to be, let me see how it goes. I do not want it to be, hopefully it will. I give it all. My neighbor next door, his wife had become a realtor, and I told him, I said, "Paul, I became a realtor." He said, "What about your other job?" I said, "I quit." He said, "You are absolutely out of your mind." I said, "Maybe, but I do it like this." However, I was at work before 6 a.m. every day. I left the office literally around midnight, sometimes past, until I was told, "That's enough of doing all this. You have caught up and some," because I thought I'm behind.
No.
So First year in real estate, I sold 16 homes, which apparently later on I realized that it was much more than what most do, even
Will do.
in their 10th year of business. But it was the right mindset. I was a tiger. I was a go-getter. No to me meant nothing. No to me was like, they're not ready yet. Let me help them. Let me educate them through this. My mind was not more money. My mind was, somebody's going to get it done. I want to get it done, and I'll get it done.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So in that first beginning phase, you already had 4 FSBOs that you sold. And so you're going in with this unique experience. Not many people can say that they've done that. And then you're finding your broker, you're getting settled in, you're getting into the swing of things. Those first deals as a newly licensed agent, were you getting a lot of mentorship from your broker, or because you had already done those first 4 deals, it was very much like old hat?
So when I, you know how it is with real estate school, you learn very, very, very basics
Very
because,
basic.
I mean, I would say even if you want to buy a pair of sandals for $10, you got to wear them, walk around with them for 5-10 minutes. Are they durable? Do they fit? Are they comfortable? It takes up 10-15 minutes. Now imagine almost the number of hours the real estate school teaches is probably about the same number of hours that they teach you to become a Starbucks employee.
Yeah.
Thanks to Starbucks employees, they're fantastic. But my point is that's pushing some buttons, and this one is understanding topography, structure, architecture, design, staging, negotiations, contracts, different types of people, different ethnicities, people's emotions, NLP. There's a lot that goes on, which obviously there's not enough time in the real estate school to teach you.
Yep.
So now you're on your own. So my broker was a very, very nice lady, but within a very short period of time, I realized she doesn't have more to tell me. She had told me everything she knew, and she was great. I still respect her. She was fantastic. But then she didn't have more. Every question that I had, she responded with a question, which told me eventually, okay, she doesn't know anymore. So then, yes, I got into coaching. So I took any class there was. I started with Mike Ferry, and I did anything there was. I did Tony Robbins seminars, Landmark. There's a program called later. Then I took one-on-one coaching, and I did anything that could improve me, including the right breathing. I mean, everything that had to do with improving your
Person.
So then later on, I did landmark education, almost all the courses, communication, forum, advanced course, everything, ILP, Introduction to Leadership Programming. And then I did ILP with Coldwell Banker twice, Introduction to Leadership. No, Introduction to Leadership. I think it was ILP.
Something
Because
like that.
they asked, yeah, something like that. That was 2005. Because the president of the company asked me if I wanted to be a broker, which I thought, I said, aren't you supposed to be a broker after a few years in the industry? He said, if you want to be a broker, we'll talk about that. But do you want to? I said, I'll take the class. So anything there was, I took.
Wow.
And then basically to a point where I might at this point, I've been in business 21 years. After like 18 years after all this, I would say maybe in the 3rd year, possibly I could have been ready to start coaching. Maybe, I don't know.
So you got in right around 2005?
2004.
2004.
End of 2004.
Okay, so let's roll back the clock and talk about Atlanta real estate market in 2004. What was the scene like over there?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
There were lots of for sale by owners, and then discount brokers had come in, or had come in before me, or had just come in. There were some companies I don't want to name for certain reason, and then they were doing okay, and then people started realizing a professional is needed.
Yep.
You don't pay for service, you don't get service. You want to save a penny, you end up losing $1. I learned that through seeing sellers quickly. Quite honestly, somebody in my neighborhood, and I'm not going to say who, did the same thing recently. They went with a discounted broker. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of money. I'm talking about, honestly, a lot. Like, we're talking six-figure. In not getting the house ready correctly and not presenting the house correctly. Many things about the house were not presented correctly. That affected me as a neighbor. And but then the person, when I told him what offer I had got on my house without even wanting to sell it, he froze and he almost started shaking, like he lost a lot of money. So my point is, I realize that you have to have, but having said that, sometimes you pay for full service. You may not get full service.
This is true.
However, if somebody is willing to reduce their commission, well, that means that they are not confident. That means they might be desperate. That means they don't know their own worth. All this goes hand in hand, right?
It's super critical. And I think, being in the investment side of things out here in Dallas area and previously living in San Antonio, I saw a lot of flat fee listings, right? So that's another version of it, right? And to your point, Cami, you get what you pay for. Right? So if you're going into it with the mindset of, I just want to get on the MLS, well, then you're not going to have anybody who's really going to talk to a whole lot of buyers, right? And so they may be texting whoever put it up there, and they're not going to get a response. You may get it linked to your phone. This was 2005, right? So I don't even really know what they were doing besides maybe getting a voicemail, right? There wasn't a whole lot of going back and forth in the same way as far as sending photographs or this type of thing. So even probably more limited in scope that they could do back then.
Limited, however, what has been lacking, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a personal relationship, if it's a brother and sister, father and son, mother and daughter, or a couple. There is almost never enough communication. That's why we have so many issues. So the same thing happens when those days people didn't talk a whole lot. Today, they go through text because a lot of people do not want to pick up the phone. Are people becoming lazy? I don't know. Are they losing confidence? I don't know. I'm saying, it reminds me of that big fat Greek wedding. I don't know because nobody tells me nothing. So anyway, people don't talk. So people don't even call you to negotiate before they send an offer. Realtors like, pick up the phone, talk to me. I might want to give you some good information. So yeah, communication has been missing one way or another throughout all this, and it is key.
My buddy has a phrase. I'm a realtor here in DFW, newly licensed, but I've heard it, and there's some truth to this. He says that as soon as people become a realtor, they lose their phone.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club. I
call them not real estate agents. They become secret agents. Come back to surface. Come on up.
Yeah, where'd you go? I'd like to talk about scaling a business. So you did, I think you said 16 deals that first year, impressive numbers, right? And you know the statistics, most agents fall off after 2 years, they don't renew or they just don't engage in any real estate activities after that. My perspective is if someone wants to get into real estate or if they want to learn valuable skills, the best thing to do, the best thing, and it sounds like you did a lot of this intrinsically, is networking and getting into the rooms. Because you can learn the skills, right? You can go to an online, textbook style discussion. But getting in the rooms and talking to people and utilizing that skill set of that rapport building, of also just meeting new people and presenting who you are. There's some magic to that networking that to me, if I had to pick between having a lot of textbook knowledge and then getting the networking component, I'm always going to say networking first.
People still like human connections. It is a 300,000 a year of evolution. People still like that. Even people who are, they think they are okay on their own and they don't want to be connected. They still like it when they are connected with others. It's in our genes. It's in our blood. Even people who are on their phone all the time, I have noticed that they still feel lonely and like to be connected. They may not know how,
Yeah.
but they like to be connected. So that's where building rapport comes in. It's if they don't know you, when you're unknown, you could be a threat. You could be unreliable. You could be
Yep.
not trustworthy. However, when they see you, when they connect with you, the more they think you are of them, the better they would connect and end up working with you.
Cami, you took a lot of courses that are very niche, very unique on communications, on leadership. If there was there one specific one that was a huge game changer for you that you went into it and then it just changed everything after?
Wow. Okay. Wow. Many. I mean, landmark education was a huge impact. It's called landmark education. That was the biggest impact. And one of the other impacts was the fire walk with Tony Robbins, which I think a few years after I did it, something went wrong when
Yeah.
a lot of people got burned, like
Yeah.
badly burned. But that shifted a few things in me. Landmark education was another. Yeah, but when you were mentioning that, I thought you were going to ask what one thing would you think of when you after all this, and if that's something of the questions you're going to
Yeah.
ask, I would say eventually what you realize is no matter where people come from, no matter what age, color, race, status, people are people.
Hmm.
We are the same. Some people act a little bit tougher for whatever reason. I don't want to get into that. Some people might feel different, normal, victim, bully. Eventually, people are people and
Hmm.
emotions are emotions. And once we know that, it doesn't matter if the person I'm shaking hands with has a very low-paid job or the president of such and such country. People are people.
It's almost hearing you say that, I can picture you once you've seen kind of the avatar of this type of person. Like they have this background, this type of temperament. You can see similarities in other cultures and other geographic areas, right? And so things start to seem less foreign. And I've seen this as I've hosted more podcasts and as I've talked to more people and my limited time as a realtor, I've started to pick up on that. Not quite as eloquently as you said it, but I've started to see that there's so many similarities between people that even when on paper they're so entirely different, you can actually get a good sense of how one person, might behave based on a previous experience with something totally unrelated.
Correct.
Cami, pivoting a bit here, let's fast forward chronologically. From 2005, you had 2008 where the market crashed. Then you had the 2010, 11, 12 period where you saw a restoration to today where we've survived COVID. And here you are all those years later, having been through ups and downs, through, multiple lulls in the market and still standing. I like to think that real estate entrepreneurs, realtors, anybody who's in the real estate space has to be able to adapt to get through these types of time periods. What were some of the adaptations that you employed to help you stay strong during these times and to grow your business?
Two things. One is basics are basics. When something is working, keep it up. Do the same thing. Now you can add stuff to it if you want to add something, but don't deviate from what you're doing. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Is it a Texan thing, or is it everywhere?
It might be everywhere.
If it ain't broke, so if it's working, just do the same thing. If you need to shift it a little bit, okay. So you're doing cold calls. That's what I used to do. If you're doing cold calls, if there's technology, add the technology to it. Get an auto dialer to make it faster. But that doesn't mean totally change your course. Which during these 21 years, I have changed courses. And then I realized I shouldn't have changed courses. I should have stayed on my course, maybe a little shifts.
As a realtor, when you talk about basics, what are the basics? If we go granular, what are the basics as a realtor?
So my broker used to bring me, I was the poster child, bring me to when there was a class, she would always ask me a question or bring me up to the class and would ask the agents to ask Cami a question, because I'm an agent. I'm selling more than most, and I have been in the business very short. It was not that I was smarter than others. It's just that I was intentional about it. So basics are, somebody asked me, this lady said, and she is ready to take notes. She thinks I'm going to say something she has never heard before. She says, so if you were to give us one thing, what would that be? I said, plan your business, plan your work, and work your plan. And she was disappointed. She didn't write it down. We have forgotten that those golden rules, we had them 1,000 years ago. We still have them today. They do not change. We might have to make a little shift, but it's the same thing. You change your clothes to a different color, but it's still clothes. You got to treat this as a business, right? And that's what I did for a number of years. Again, I have been off track, on track, but for a big number of years, I was on track the whole time. Like you mentioned, in 2011, when a lot of agents were dropping out of business, for 8 months in a row, I was number 2 in the entire coldwell banker in Metro Atlanta. Right? So the reason was I was going to work at 6 in the morning. I would come back home no earlier than 8 in the evening. I was the first one to go in, was the last one to leave. And then I just exactly did it. My thing was cold calling, and I did it. Now, would it have made sense that I would also add somebody to help me with the referral network? Yes. Would it have made sense that I would add a system where we would send out postcards out every month and happy birthdays, and you know how it is. Sure. If somebody buys a house with you, they like you, but then 3 years down the road, they want to sell. They talk to a neighbor next door, they forget about you, and they sell it with them, and they say, and then 6 months later, they say, oh, I think Cami was better. Like, okay, but if I had stayed in touch. So basics are those things that they teach in any business. They always stay the same. When people ask, is the market going up or down, and say, basics, supply, demand. Where are we with supply? Where are we with demand? In 2007, there were 40 homes for each buyer. 120,000 homes in the market, 3,000 sales a month. That's 40 homes for each buyer. Supply, demand. House goes on the market for $1 million, make an offer of 400,000. Who cares? It's a commodity now. Now, things shift, but still stick with basics. Stick with basics. If you want to do cold calls, do that. If you want to do, let's say you want to use Brian Buffini or not, I'm not promoting Brian Buffini. I've never used him. I'm sure he's good. I've never used him. Do that for referrals. just stick with basics. The same basics that we have always done and we all know.
Have a plan and execute, right?
Yeah,
it's about seeing it through. These days, I ditched the pen and paper calendar, and I have my Google Calendar, which I say is like the only way that I know what's happening in my day. Because if it's not on the Google Calendar, I'll have no idea what's going on here. But
If it's
Cami,
not on if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Remember that.
that's exactly how I feel. Cami, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
One would be my website, firstname.lastname.com, KAMIPYVAND.com. And on Facebook, it's Kami Pyvand, KAMIPYVAND. And on Instagram, same thing, Kami.Pyvand, KAMI.PYVAND.
Cami, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Absolutely, was great. You are a great host. You did fantastic. Happy to be with you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.